What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. It is time to do the top 25 albums of 2013. This is part 1 from number 25 to number 11. Now, from albums that I've reviewed that I said that they're going to be into this list, times have changed since I have listened to tons of more albums that came out this year. So these are my picks for this list, and there are 8 ties by the way, so be prepared for that. But before I jump right into it, I'll get onto the honourable mentions, but I'm not going to talk about them as I said from my previous end of the year list. I will be buying these albums just to talk to you guys about them. So there are 16 of them by the way, so let's get to the honourable mentions first. Amon Amarth, Deceiver of the Gods, Hymn Tears on Tape, Hatebreed, The Divinity of Purpose, Nails, Abandon All Life, Alice in Chains, The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, Avenged Sevenfold, Hail to the King, Bad Religion, True North, Chimera, Crown of Phantoms, Deep Purple, Now What, Ghost, Infestus Sumam, Annihilator, Feast, Pearl Jam, Lightning Bolt, Skeleton Witch, Serpents Unleashed, Toxic Holocaust, Chemistry of Consciousness, Kings of Leon, Mechanical Bull, and Orsani Pazuzu with the album Valon Nailu. I might have mispronounced that, so I do apologise. These are the albums that I did enjoy and liked listening to, but these albums obviously didn't make it into the top 25. So let's just jump to the chase for the top 25 of 2013. Number 25, Like Us, Tempest. Like Us is a very good and interesting funeral doom metal band, and this is their solid debut album, and I think it is definitely one of the most interesting metal albums I have heard for quite some time now, because of the overall sound that can be not only heavy but spooky, dark, and it can be very mysterious sounding, and also the looks of the artwork is also really good as well, so that can really mean something to those opinions. So if you're into that style of metal, definitely check out this album. Number 24, Suffocation, Pinnacle of Bedlam. Pinnacle of Bedlam is not one of my most favourites from this band, but I do love the old era of Suffocation, and they have released my favourite technical death metal album of all time, which is their debut, Effigy of the Forgotten. And there are some different elements here and there by some of the songs from this album, but overall the album still continues the same death metal vibes from the non-stop insanity of the brutal instrumentation with the very strong vocals. So to me, this is a really good Suffocation album, and I will be picking this album up someday later in in the newer days of 2014. So yeah, I have to say that Pinnacle of Bedlam is still a really good album that I really do dig a lot from Suffocation. Number 23, Defeated Sanity, Passages into Deformity. Passages into Deformity is a really heavy album from this German brutal death metal band, and I just really love the over-the-top, raw, heavy sounds, and just the really heavy distortion from the guitars, and just the really guttural vocal style and everything else. And I did check out their previous efforts from their discography, and I have to say that this is just as good as their previous efforts. So definitely check out this album if you haven't yet, if you're into that type of music. Number 22, Newsted, Heavy Metal Music. Jason Newsted's new band, and I have to say this album is one of the most solid and very good debut albums of modern metal ever, and I really do love a lot of these tracks from how simple they are, and well, not only simple, but they are really catchy as well. And I have to say that Jason's vocals are really unique stuff as well, so this is definitely a really impressive album from Newsted, and I'm really looking forward to the future stuff of Newsted from their future careers. So yeah, and I really did like this album a lot. Number 21, Devourment, Conceived in Sewage. Another really good, brutal album from Devourment, and it's just as heavy, brutal, and insane like their previous albums, and just the punchy sounds of the drums and the low guttural vocal style and the really raw distortion from the electric guitars, and they can just be that band that just keeps things going non-stop like the other death metal bands out there. But to me, Devourment had been one of the most unique death metal bands out there, so Conceived in Sewage, another fantastic album from Devourment. Number 20, the first tie on this list, The Black Dahlia Murder, Ever Black, and Dream Theater, self-titled. Ever Black by The Black Dahlia Murder is a really strong album from these guys, and just the overall album itself, it's just crazy, catchy as well, and it's just absolutely well recorded stuff, and just the over-the-top vocals to the very good guitar tones and sounds, and the very good drumming as well, and a lot of the songs are just non-stop aggression all the way throughout this entire album, and it is a really big surprise for me from this band. And Dream Theater's self-titled is another really good album from Dream Theater, and you know that Images and Words had been one of my all-time favorite albums, and it'll always will be. And the only flaw that I said on the review is the overuse of keyboards, but it doesn't entirely spoil the album for me. So this is still another really good, strong album from Dream Theater. I still love John Petrucci from his guitar playing, and the overall album itself, from a lot of the songs, can really deliver extremely well. So I do love Dream Theater. So yeah. Number 19, Wormed, Exodromus. Exodromus from Wormed is a ridiculously technical album, and they're from Spain, which is another surprising thing, and I just really do love how heavy they can get. Their EP is really good as well, but Exodromus is just, oh my goodness, just the very heavy, guttural, alienating vocal style, and just the fast-paced guitar riffs and technicality, and just the very quick, fast drumming. It's just all over the place, and that's just what I really do love from Exodromus, and I think it's one of the heaviest albums I have ever heard in existence. So Exodromus from Wormed is definitely worth your time if you're into that style of music. Number 18, the second tie, Autopsy, The Headless Ritual, and The Paradigm Shift from Korn. The Headless Ritual from Autopsy is an album that some people can give mixed responses on, like Pinnacle of Bedlam from Suffocation, but The Headless Ritual to me is a really good album, and it can still really bring some of the heavy old school death metal vibes from this album, and just the very different crazy chanting, shouty and raspy vocal style, and I really do love how simple this band can get from their music, and it's just that simple. It's still classed as non-stop death metal, and it's so aggressive, and Severed Survival and Mental Funeral are one of the best death metal albums I have ever heard in a long time, for my opinion. I bet everyone agrees with that if they're into death metal, so I can still really dig the Headless Ritual, and I think it's a really good album. The paradigm shift from Korn is a really big surprise for me, because I really do love this band a lot, even though I do not like the Path of Totality. But Brian Head Welch is back with the band, which is another really good thing. And this album does have some pieces of electronic stuff, but throughout the entire songs, they bring back the new metal vibes, and it does have some similarities from other albums like Untouchables and Issues, but the Paradigm Shift is just a really good album, another great album from these guys. So and I really do love Korn, since they're one of the first bands that got me into metal. Number 17, another tie, Summoning, Old Morning's Dawn, and Motorhead Aftershock. Old Morning's Dawn by Summoning is another very good atmospheric black metal album, and I really just love the overall sound and the production, and it's just by a lot of times just beautiful, from the way that they sound, and the overall songs are just very atmospheric and entertaining stuff, and they're quite cinematic as well. And Old Morning's Dawn is definitely a really good album from Summoning. So if you're into atmospheric black metal, check this out. Aftershock from Motorhead, what can I say? Motorhead had been one of my favourite bands of all time, and they still are. And Aftershock is another really good, strong Motorhead album. Can still bring the same sounds of heavy metal back, and they are just great from their overall sounds, and the songs are just sometimes fast and also slow, and they're very good, catchy and easy to follow songs, and that's just what I love about Motorhead. And you know, Lemmy is another one of my all-time favourite frontmen when it comes to metal music, so Aftershock never disappointed me, so another phenomenal album from these guys. Number 16, Biffy Clyro, Opposites. Now, I listened to this album all the way through, and I have to say that this could be my favourite Biffy Clyro album. My personal favourite was their previous album, Only Revolutions, but there's something about this that really means something a lot more to me, and I do love the artwork made by Storm Thorgerson. God bless his soul, rest in peace. And I really do love Biffy Clyro. This is another very good concept album when it comes to the topics of concept albums, and it's split into two parts, and I really do love a lot of these songs on this album, just the way that they go and deliver, and the very good vocals, and there's just a lot of simple and catchy, very well done songs on this double album. So Opposites is probably my favourite Biffy Clyro album, and I do love a lot of the songs on this album involving the singles, and they're just one of the best alternative rock bands ever, in my opinion. So I do idolise this band a lot. Number 15, Mechana, Empyrean. Some people can be disappointed from the production. Yes, the production is not 100% perfection, but it is really, really good. And this was my first album that I reviewed for 2013. And Mechana with this album is just very, very strong for what they did on this album, and it's just metal all the way, but it's definitely an album with a lot of symphonic stuff, and it's kind of like a space soundtrack. Like it can just drift you to space and whilst listening to the album, and I just really do love a lot of the songs on this album, and the artwork is also absolutely cool as well. So, you know, but as I said, the production is not 100% perfection, but I can really still dig some of the heavy sounds and just the way that these songs build up, and they just get better and better as they go along for me. So Empyrean was my introduction to this band, so I really do love this album. Number 14, Deaf Heaven, Sunbather. Sunbather is a really interesting one, and it's kind of like a combination of black metal with some other styles of music, and I really do love that whole interesting combination of those styles of music, and just combines it into one. And the overall songs, they're just absolutely great and unique for what they are, and I really do give this band a lot of credit for how unique this band can really make from their interesting sounds, from the way that these songs deliver. And Sunbather is, to me, one of the most unique albums I have ever heard in existence. So another really strong album for me, so I highly recommend Sunbather. Number 13, Fintroll, Bloodswept. Bloodswept is another killer album from Fintroll, and I do love folk metal a lot. You know, you've got this band, Ensiferum, Corpiclani, and all the other folk metal bands that are out there in this world. And Bloodswept is another heavy album with a band that makes simple music, but they are very catchy from the way that they can make these songs go. And Natfod is my favourite Fintroll album, by the way. And you know, they're one of these bands that got me introduced to the folk metal genre, and I just love Bloodswept, so definitely worth your time to check out this album. Number 12, Hatriot, Heroes of Origin. Steve Zetchell Souza's new band with his sons, and they are non-stop awesome thrash metal, and I just really do love Steve's vocal style on this. And as I said in my review, it's like the Bon Scott of metal vocalists. As we all know, Bon Scott, who's the rock vocalist from AC/DC, and I just do love, these tracks that never stops going into pauses or you know, just anything else. These songs are just non-stop awesome thrash, from the very quick drumming and the excellent guitar playing and the production as well. I do love a lot of things about this album. Had to burp there. But Heroes of Origin from Hatriot is a really good debut album from this band. And to finish this off with number 11, with Havoc, Unnatural Selection. Now, some of my friends say that this is a disappointing album, but I really do love this album a lot. It's not as, 10 out of 10 perfection as Time Is Up. Time Is Up is one of the most amazing and one of the best modern thrash albums ever, and to me Unnatural Selection is nearly as good as Time Is Up, but it can still be a really good album with still some of the same really good fast-paced complexity of guitar riffs and just the very good drumming and the vocals. So Time Is Up is more stronger than this, but to me Unnatural Selection is another really good album from from Havoc, so that's just me. So that's it, guys. That's part 1 of the top 25 albums of 2013, and in part 2 I'm going to be doing the top 10 of this same list in the future, so keep an eye out for that, guys. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you posted for more videos. Keep it metal.